Darshan actually split push. This is going to be a split push race here. Oh, Hunter goes back to try and stop him.
Yeah, he is back. Not going to be too much trouble in that sense. But we saw that fight. We've seen that fight happen. It's Darshan that's been winning it. Svenskeren very low. Bjergsen walks up to melee range. Svenskeren goes down. Bjergsen's forced to flash out. It's a gold card that comes out, gets it Smithy in the tunneling process, and that's going to be Bjergsen going down. Efremu just wasted Cosmic Binding backwards when he had Bjergsen on the wall.
Darshan cutting
allows them to leave now. Darshan, he's going to be the one to come out. He waits, flashes, and counter-strikes from across the wall.
Jatt here with the team fight breakdown from TSM vs CLG in Week 1 of the North American LCS. This is an example of two teams with fairly different goals. TSM has a strong team fighting composition, Mundo in the front line, Alistar as a tank, and then Elise split between a tank and a damage role with a Runic Echoes and a Dead Man's Plate. So very fast Elise, but not someone who can soak a huge amount of damage. CLG, on the other hand, has a very offensively built Jax, who's trying as hard as possible to create split push pressure and assassinate towards the back in the fight. As was seen at other times during this game, when he goes in too early, if he gets crowd control, he dies pretty much immediately. So CLG has to be very accurate with their initiations, whereas TSM actually wants to brute force a little bit with their stronger tanking force. At this juncture in the game, CLG has set up a split push position. They have Lissandra in one lane, they have Jax in the other, and they have 3-ish in the mid lane. It's a classic 1-3-1. And anytime you're trying to counter a 1-3-1, you want to push up the middle or any side with as much force as possible while mitigating the time the other people have to split push and get things done. And it's a very dangerous situation for TSM to push in here because Darshan already has good split push positioning. So TSM tries to hedge their bets. Instead of sending forward 5 people to try and kill the inhibitor clean and trade it for Darshan, they send back Hauntzer's Mundo to try and defend 1v1 and make the push with 4. They think they have enough window time because they have successfully cut off CLG's pathing towards the inhibitor, meaning that CLG has to recall and then run to the exposed inhibitor. Unfortunately for TSM, they lack a bit of decisiveness. They're worried about flank wards, they don't want to get TP'd in the back, so you can see the team is already split. Yellowstar is looking to the left, Svenskeren is way ahead of everyone else thanks to the move speed of Runic Echoes and general impatience, and you can tell Bjergsen and Doublelift are approaching with a lot of hesitance. From here, Svenskeren gets a stun into Xmithy, and Bjergsen uses his gold card on him as well, so they're trying to get as much damage on Xmithy as possible. But in using those 2 critical crowd controls, the only thing that's left for TSM would be an Alistar Flash Pulverize, and that would be a full committal for TSM, leaving nothing to stop Huhi from going towards the backline. Svenskeren takes a lot of damage from Stixxay, has to jump up into the air with the repel. It's almost retreat time because everyone on CLG has successfully defended the inhibitor. At this point, it's a 4v4 fight against a team that has much more gold. Remember, there's a 0-3 Jax, so he doesn't have a large distribution of CLG's kills. The kills are with the 4 people that are looking to teamfight TSM right now, who has conveniently put themselves in CLG's base with nothing to fall back on. At this point, it's all about execution. Efremu times his Bard stun to hit Yellowstar and Svenskeren, and this signals go for the rest of CLG. Huhi is on the same page, and he flashes straight forward to kill Svenskeren, who has not gone full tank and can definitely be vulnerable to this. This is where another positioning mistake happens for TSM. Not only did they enter the base haphazardly, they then were between fighting and disengaging. Bjergsen gets caught in the AoE damage of the Huhi Lissandra ultimate and has to burn both Flash and Cleanse, which then takes away any of his offensive potential for the rest of the fight. Efremu's Bard ultimate could have been more well placed because Bjergsen was down Flash and stuck between a turret and a wall, so there would have been no way of dodging out of the circle, but it is successful in getting out Doublelift's Flash, which will set up Darshan's flank later in the fight. Xmithy goes a little bit too far forward and is blown up, but it does buy time for the rest of CLG's damage dealers to gain more traction onto TSM. Based on the teleported positioning of Haunzer, it's far back, so it doesn't have any immediate impact on the fight. Bjergsen had to use Zhonya's to dodge out of the Fate's Call knockup, but it still leaves him in a position where he can't make much of a retreat. Darshan has second thoughts about teleporting in where he can't kill people and decides to cancel his teleport as well. At this point, with a full damage Jax charging a stun, he makes it so Doublelift has as little time to react as possible. He flashes over the wall for distance, jumps with the stun, and basically blows Doublelift up 70-0. Overall, CLG was more coordinated with better teamwork. The indecisiveness of TSM during that push was punished by CLG's decisiveness and willingness to engage. With the fight win, they're able to pick up the 5th dragon and use the power of Aspect of the Dragon to end the game within the next 4 minutes.